Um, I worked with her at Columbia, the same thing, a real community-minded person. I want to welcome all our new members to the board and all the other people is here as well. Brad, good to see you as always. Friends of Morningside, Steve, Simon as well from Parks, and Shannon Richards from the Dog Run. Great to see everybody out this evening. And like I said, welcome to our newest members. I'm looking forward to a great season working together to make sure that our parks stay well, our landmarks are up kept. And as I said at one of the parks meetings recently, not all of us can go out to the Hamptons, but our parks is our Hamptons here in the city. So we need to take care of them and be mindful of that. So, and thank you to Annette and Heather for the job that you're doing. Appreciate it.
I have one just comment for the commissioner. Thank you for being here. I remember in our June meeting, one of the topics was the mayor's initiative to increase bathroom space in our parks. And the topic came up that Manhattan is large, and usually when those kind of resources are offered, downtown kind of gets its first pick and uptown gets forgotten. So just an ask to make sure that when there are available resources like that, to make sure we keep the northern parts of the city included. And yeah, it's just, it becomes a limited pot, and sometimes it's first come, first serve. And so if there's a way to make sure that we're at the table early, that would be appreciated.
I so appreciate that. Can you just remind me of your name? I'm sorry, I can't see you.
It's Veronica Savage, one of the new members.
Great, Veronica. It's nice to meet you, and congratulations. I so appreciate that comment, and absolutely, this is not a first come first serve. That's not our model. That's not my belief, and that's not the way we're going to do things over here. We're going to do things making sure that those who are most vulnerable, those who are most susceptible to heat, those who are at most at need, as Vic said, those neighborhoods, and many of them are in MCB9 and uptown. Those neighborhoods who don't have access to who need access to parks, need access to trees, need access to bathrooms and all the other resources, playmobiles, recreation included, all of those things. We're going to go with those who are at need and at risk most first. Absolutely, 100%. This is something where I can guarantee you that's our model. That's certainly our model, and we see things like forestry and things and other areas that we don't talk about as much. But I will also say that I also don't want it just to be about resources. I want us to start also with innovation and innovative like solutions to problems and things like that. So certainly, I know that CB9 is full of a lot of really smart people, and a lot of people who are coming up with creative solutions and creative ways of using our very tight resources in ways to serve as many people as possible. So again, if you're thinking about things, or if you're queuing on the community, talking about the community board and thinking about different ways of using our resources, please let me know. All of your solutions and all of your suggestions are going to be taken very seriously.
Trisha, I'm just curious. Is that going to fill in, or has a replacement been given for him yet?
So you may have heard this, and this is probably not officially like loud yet. So I'm going to ask you to just kind of keep it quiet. But Matt Ginridge, you may have heard that Matt Ginridge, who was our manager for CB9 and 10, has been given a bit of a promotion conditionally, as long as things go through, which is wonderful. He's a great guy, and we're really excited. He's going to stay right in the same area. By the way, he's just overseeing kind of a larger portfolio, which is really wonderful. Let's see. We have been doing interviews to find a new manager for District 7 and 9, and we're really excited about making an announcement very soon on that, probably by next month. My hope is. So you don't have to worry though, Annette and Heather and everybody else. Until everybody's in place, Matt stays exactly where he is. He's not here tonight because he's got some family business going on. So, but he was. Even though he's technically supposed to be off, he was texting me as of like 30 minutes ago. So not too much. So yeah, so all good things. All if you've worked with him or worked with any of our park staff, honestly, over here, then you know how wonderful they are, and we're really excited to kind of celebrate a little bit of a promotion for him, even though it's quiet yet because we wait until these things are approved by OMB.
Okay, well, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Otherwise, guys, I'm gonna be off camera for a little bit, and I will eventually be leaving just to get home to get my kindergartner ready for school tomorrow. But thank you again, and thank you also to, again, huge shout out to the parks team and our capital team who's here tonight too to be doing the presenting on more investment coming to Morningside, which is really great.
Thank you so much, Tricia, for being here. Thank you.
Bye, guys. I promise I'll come to the next one in person.
No
Bye.
worries. Okay, next on the agenda, is there anyone here from Green Thumb this evening? Or do we have any gardeners who'd like to make any announcements from the Green Thumb or participants in the Green Thumb program? Ira of Jenny's Garden, do you have anything to say, or? No pressure.
Nothing really, things are really
Okay, I know
going
you're
well
trying.
right now.
Oh, good,
We've done a
okay.
lot of harvests.
Okay,
It's the soup kitchens, and we're always giving tours when the port is open. Except we have a door, apparently. Didn't know that, sorry.
We also hosted the Teen Corps members, which is their summer youth program. Got a chance to give them a chance to participate in the harvest. So nice to see it be an intergenerational space. Our young people are getting involved.
okay. All right, is Wesley Hamilton on tonight? This evening, Wesley?
Hey, good evening. How's everyone doing tonight? Can you hear me okay?
Oh, sure, yes.
Great. I'm not sure if my camera's working here. I'm trying to hit this. I'm sorry, working from my phone, but always tough to follow the commissioner. Glad she's here tonight, and everyone else tonight, this evening. We appreciate you showing up and helping out the community. Don't have a lot of updates at this time. I think when we left off in June, we were just about to open the stairs at 148. So I'm happy to say that that has been accomplished. And I'd like to give a good shout out to DOT, which helped us a lot in accomplishing that task. We know a lot of people use that throughway to get to 10 Mile Playground from Riverside Drive. So we're very happy to have that open. The other update is 142 Dog Run is on track. Spoke with with our capital team, who may also be on here tonight as well for something else. But they assured me that progress is moving forward there, and that they're on track and on schedule. That's all I have for now. If anybody's got anything for me.
We have questions in person. Go ahead.
Thank you. I just wanted an update. How's the concession going on that upper portion of Riverside Park? I forget the gentleman's name who owns that bar and restaurant over there, but he's having some issues with electrical and things of that nature.
I don't have any updates as far as the progress that he's making. I know that our concession department has approved him, and that he has been doing concessions on the weekend, and a lot of those improvements for him to continue on there. The improvements are required. I don't have a lot of details as to what all that is. I could try to maybe at some point in time have concessions speak with you guys, but I'm not aware of any changes in that area currently.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I'll circle back with you maybe because I know you had some issues with DOT and there was an issue with the parks facility in itself. So, but thank you.
Which concession are you referring to?
Oh my gosh.
The arcade.
Yeah, yes, exactly. Yeah.
What
the
is it?
arcade.
Oh, the arcade?
Yeah, at Riverside. Yeah, 155th, and it's like underneath it's on the wall basically.
Oh,
Go
it's
down.
at 155th and Riverside Drive?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Any other questions for Wesley, or West Harlem Pierce Park? Okay, thank you, Wesley.
All right.
And again,
Thank you. I'll pass it on to Stephanie, hopefully, with the Conservancy.
If anyone has joined us online, could you please type your name into the chat so we can keep a record of your attendance and your affiliation too as well. And if you feel comfortable, you can also provide us with your email address. And we have a hand raised by Felipe. Go ahead with your question.
Hi, everybody. Felipe Castillo. I'm a new CB9 member. And I actually had a question for Wesley. The West Harlem Piers used to have a kayak and canoe launch. I think it's been out of commission for maybe 4 or 5 years. I was just wondering if there's any motion to, or there's anything in the works to replace it.
Hey, that's a great question. I'm sorry I don't have any updates now. But what I can do is I can reach out. That's another division of ours in our Marine, and I could ask them what they're looking at possibly there. To the best of my knowledge, it was damaged severely from a storm. So it would be looking like a complete replacement. So I'm not aware of them being able to accomplish that right now, either through funding or whatever issues. I know that they're working diligently further down in 79th Street to try to make improvements in that area. But I'll be happy to look into that and maybe get back to the board with any information I might find out.
Thank you so much.
Okay. And Tricia, I see your hand raised. Go ahead with your question.
Hi, sorry, my camera is not working at the moment. Something's wrong, but I'm sitting here with Steve Simon, and he wanted to add to the, Felipe's question. So we're still listening, but I'm just going to turn it over. Sorry, my camera is acting weird. Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, hi. EDC has taken the kayak launch and incorporated into a project that they're working on for the West Harlem Piers. And I believe they've come to Board 9 in the past, and you may want to reach out to them again to get an update. And actually, I'm going to reach out to them as well, because it's a good question. I'd like to know what's the status of this work as well. But this is a project that's being handled by the New York City Economic Development Corporation on our behalf, basically. But we'll get you an update. Is that Felipe Castillo?
Yeah, Felipe.
Felipe. Yeah.
Felipe, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So are you a member of Board 9?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, great. All right. So I would also suggest that Board 9 itself reach out to EDC, but we'll do so too. We both should be getting an update.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Any other questions? Then we will move on. And the agenda is Stephanie on Riverside Park Conservancy.
Hi, yes, can you hear me?
Oh, great, Stephanie, and welcome back. You left us
Thank-
for what, a month or two?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm very happy to be back. Hello, everyone. My name is Stephanie Ashley Kavan. I am the North Park Outreach Coordinator for Riverside Park Conservancy. I left for 2 months. Let's call it a sabbatical or a retreat or something like that. And then I came back. So very happy to be back and to report about the free public programming and all the volunteer opportunities in the park. Also, shout out to Veronica and Ira and Shannon, who are all on this call, who are all community stewards at Riverside. So awesome to see y'all. Okay, so free public programs first. We have yoga every Thursday at the 145th Street lawn at 6:30 p.m. You can use the newly opened 148th Street stairs to access that, or Riverbank. Thank you to Riverbank. The Riverbank stairs to that. The Billion Oyster presentations are happening on the Baylander on the boat at West Harlem Piers Park, led by the lovely Ira, on the first and third Saturday of the month at 12 p.m. We have bingo on Thursdays at West Harlem Piers Park at 5:30 p.m. We have a dance fitness class at West Harlem Piers Park on Saturdays at 11 a.m. as well. And if I went too fast, so sorry, I'm going to put my information in the chat. Jenny's Garden. Jenny's Garden is so amazing. It's on 138th Street, and Veronica and Ira are lovely testaments to how amazing that garden is. It's the only vegetable garden in Riverside Park. There are beautiful vegetable beds, and as Ira had mentioned, we had a few harvests that we sent to a soup kitchen on 114th Street, Broadway Community Inc. this summer. We had a lovely collaboration with Teen Corps. We have 17 interns who are all teenagers who work with us over the summer. 14 of them were specifically from Community Board 9. It's a paid internship program, and really happy to have worked with them in Jenny's Garden and all over the park, in the northern section of the park. So that was really amazing. There are several ways to be involved in Jenny's Garden. I always get this question of how to be involved. If you have compost, you can drop it off on weekend mornings. We also have Matt and Allison, two amazing community members who are leading cleanups on Sundays at 10 a.m. There's a lot of trash in that area, unfortunately. So I'm also going to be leading trash cleanups and light weeding projects on the 2nd and 4th Tuesday of every month from 1 to 3. We have cleanups and gardening as well at Ralph Ellison Memorial on 150th Street on the 4th Saturday of every month. Every Wednesday from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. we have a volunteer opportunity at Socorro Park every Wednesday. We have our International Coastal Cleanup Day on September 28th from at Fort Washington Park and at 10 Mile as well. So we have 2 different locations for International Coastal Cleanup Day. Whoever picks up the most bottle caps wins some sort of special prize that I have not come up with yet, but you'll win something, I promise. We've had people pick up like 200, 300 bottle caps. Pick up more, pick up all of them. So that's on September 28th for International Coastal Cleanup Day. And finally, the goats. So as some of you may have known, we've had 4 goats this summer at Riverside Park on 143rd Street. We started off with 7 and then 3 graduated. Nothing happened to them. They're fine. We just had more plants than we had goats. And so that happened. But we have 4 beautiful, wonderful goats, and they're sadly leaving to go back home to Rhinebeck, New York. So the final celebration or the graduation ceremony for the goats will be on September 21st at 1 p.m. So feel free to come by for that. I have a trash pickup opportunity, cleanup opportunity inside the goat enclosure on September 13th. It's a really hot event. I have a lot of people interested in petting the goats and doing trash cleanup in the goat enclosure. So I'll be releasing that on Eventbrite shortly. But that's September 13th at 1 p.m. and you get to pick up trash in the goats and you get to say hi to them and take selfies, which is really cute. But yes, they are leaving September 21st at 1 p.m. They have done an amazing job. They will most likely be back next summer at 143rd Street. Like 90% sure. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to like super solidify that, but pretty sure they're coming back to 143rd Street. And lastly, I send out a newsletter every month about what's going on between 120th Street to 181st Street. I love sharing about what's going on in other organizations along those blocks, along those areas, West Harlem and Washington Heights, because that is my purview. Please send me any special events that are going on at your organizations, at your parks. I'll put my email down in the chat as well if there's anything that you have wanted to talk to me about in terms of anything that I spoke about today, which is a lot. So sorry, but yay. That's it. If anyone has any questions, I'll stay on for a little bit.
Excellent. Any questions for Stephanie? And again, if you join us online, please put your information in the chat, your contact information and affiliation. Ira, did you have a comment or a question?
It's more of a comment.
Great. Go
I
ahead.
didn't want to say this earlier because I didn't want to steal Stephanie's thunder, but I heard it was suggested to me that the tunnel at Jenny's Garden might be the source of a art mural project or something else, sound design thing. So that it might reduce the amount of littering in that area and bring more people into that area, which would be a good thing. Also, it was suggested to me that pickleball courts be set up on 12th Avenue in an area where no cars are allowed to park and it's already very flat. 12th Avenue, right there, tends to be on severe slope. It was also mentioned to me that that whole avenue before Robert Moses was a park. Parkland. I did not know that. That's it.
Excellent. Okay, any other comments? Okay, let's keep moving. We are going to, let's see. It's Karen on with Friends of
can you hear me?
St. Nicholas Park.
Yes,
Karen,
I have an update for Karen. She was unable to make it.
oh, okay.
So
This is Tapashi. Okay, go ahead.
this is Tapashi.
Okay.
So the Friends of St. Nicholas are having a cleanup event on September 14th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. She wanted me to share the flyer with you, which I'll drop in the chat right now, or actually I'll send over to Euthea after the meeting. But she wanted to invite everyone to come out and join the cleanup on September 19th. And that was it for the Friends group.
Okay, excellent. And Brad Taylor, are you on with Friends of Morningside?
I thought Tapashi was gonna go.
Tapashi.
Do you mind if I ask her a question? Sorry, Brad.
That's okay.
Go ahead, April.
Tapashi, did you hear my note about the closure outside of Alexander Hamilton's house? They keep closing that gate every Monday and Tuesday.
The lawn that's south of it.
Yeah. They keep blocking it, and so people can't access the park that route, which a lot of people do, of course. So it's been a little, but it's been inconveniencing a lot of neighbors. So just, I don't know why they started closing it, but.
Yeah, I'm sorry, is it the National Park Service area, like entering the house?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I know they are closed on Mondays. Let me check their hours specifically.
They didn't used to close on Mondays and Tuesdays. I'm not sure why they began doing that. Maybe they're understaffed, but I just wanted to mention that. And we can talk offline too, but also, what's the, like, I know it's getting cooler, but the mosquitoes in St. Nicholas Park are really bad.
Has it seemed worse this year?
Yeah, I don't know what the Parks Department is doing throughout this system, but it's gotten pretty bad.
Holistically, I know we do periodic treatments in some areas, but that's like, I'm thinking Bronx and Queens, but and that's like overhead flying for some treatment. For Manhattan, I haven't seen anything because our like it's mostly around Pelham Bay that is more wooded and forested. So I will definitely note this to our our central operations team and tell them like we're noticing a little bit more mosquitoes here and see if they're able to advise DOH if there's anything we could do.
Totally. I don't know if anyone else has any other parks they'd like to mention, but yeah, St. Nicholas Park is really bad.
I would just like to add, just to piggyback on that my window space, St. Nicholas Park. And I have screens in my window, but I have noticed that there is a problem with mosquitoes. Something that for the last greater than the last 5-6 years.
Yeah.
So I wanted to know if that's more possible, whatever they do to, maintain the mosquito issue, because that's been in the news lately as well. And maybe they can exterminate or have to go through a process somehow.
Yeah. And the city was exterminating our entire area last week in the evening, yeah. So it was on the news and emails went out too about that to various community groups that our area, the entire area was sprayed last week.
And that included St. Nicholas Park?
Yes, yes. It included the entire northern portion of the city. Okay.
And to answer April's question, April, the National Park Service, the Hamilton Grange House, it's open Wednesday to Sunday, 10 to 4 p.m. I can't speak to their staffing levels, but Monday and Tuesday it's closed typically, but you're saying that before the gate used to be open and people could walk through?
Correct, yeah, they have a main gate where they can drive cars through, but there's a little side gate where you can, like, just one person can walk in people can walk in single file. And I guess they used to just keep that open as a courtesy. It'd be nice if they continue to do that.
Gotcha. Okay. I can definitely send a message to them.
That one, very first,
Okay, all right. So let's move forward. Brad Taylor from Morningside Park. Do you have any updates
Yes.
for us this month, Brad?
Yeah, thanks, Heather. It's good to see you and to hear Annette here too. So you guys are doing a great job there. Before I get started with Morningside, I did want to sort of acknowledge that we lost Carol Singleton, a longtime member of Community Board 9, when I was chair of the Parks Committee, and she was a member of the committee. It's a real loss. She was such a sweet and caring person, and she cared specifically about St. Nicholas Park so much. So I just wanted to acknowledge her and her contribution to this community and this community board. Morningside Park, lots of good things happening. You're going to hear about some of them. We're just super thrilled that Ricardo and Laura have been so responsive and willing to listen to suggestions about the stair improvements that you'll hear about this evening. So big thanks to the whole department, Tapashi, Commissioner, and also Laura and Ricardo on that. With me tonight is Brigham Keener. He's the chair of our Parks Liaison Committee. He actually led a walkthrough of Morningside with the Parks Department a couple of weeks ago, which was very productive, and we're hoping for a follow-up meeting on that. We've got a lot going on. We have a huge, our annual festival comes up on September 14th. I've dropped a link in the chat, which I will now send around to everyone, if I can figure out how to do that. There it is. Okay. So that's coming up. This is a family festival that we have been sponsoring, and I looked this up the other day, and it's really pretty astounding. The precursor to this festival goes back to the mid-90s. So it's been one of our feature events year after year. And it's going to be great this year. We've got a lot of stuff planned, and I wanted to thank the Parks Department for working with us to get all the preparations ready for that. So thank you, Tapashi and Matt. Yeah, I was dismayed to hear that Matt has a promotion. I mean, congratulations, Matt. But we will miss you in your current role. Even though you're not here this evening, I just wanted to say that. I believe that's the regional manager position for the east side of Manhattan that he's taking. Maybe Tapashi can confirm that's a position that's been vacant for some time. So we're glad to see that it gets filled, and we look forward to having the manager position filled as well. In terms of the park, of course, Commissioner mentioned the hugely significant thing, which is the turning on of the waterfall, which is on to some extent now, but it's not going full force. And I guess it's being tinkered with a little bit. So we look forward to having the real launch of that waterfall and a big celebration at that time. Brigham, did you want to say anything?
Oh, no, thank you, Brad. I'm just echoing everything that you've said. It's been a really wonderful collaboration with Parks. Really appreciate everything that everybody's been doing on Parks side with regard to the stairs. I really appreciate the collaboration, and yeah, this waterfall is just tremendously exciting. For anyone who hasn't seen it, please go over and look. It's really a wonderful thing to see back, and just want to thank Parks very much for your collaboration with that, and Columbia as well.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
Yeah, that's it, I think, for us.
Thank you so much, Brad, and thank you so much for meeting over the summer as you did and providing that wonderful letter of support for that presentation. You know, and it's important that community members, that your voices are heard when you come to these meetings, and you voice concern about having, you know, input into the renovations of those stairs. So thank you for taking the lead on that and meeting with the Parks Department over the summer. It's greatly appreciated.
Thank you.
And for that letter of support. Let's see. Oh, and so finally, let's see, for the parks updates, we'll, Tapaji, did you have some additional announcements?
Yes, I do. I do.
Okay.
Let's see. So we still have Harlem Sculpture Garden in Morningside, St. Nicholas, and Jackie Robinson Parks until October. That was a presentation from Savona Bailey McLean. I will drop the link to some details on that in the chat. That's throughout the historic Harlem Parks, except Marcus Garvey. At Morningside, the big announcement there, of course, is that the waterfall is on and it's been flowing. We're very excited to have it. We are planning to do a celebration event at the end of September, maybe early October. Details still to come on that, so please bear with us. Morningside is also having the lantern event on I think it's called, what's it called? It's called Morningside Lights, and that is on the 21st at 8 p.m. They have workshops to build a lantern, which sound very exciting. I haven't done it myself, but they do seem really interesting. They have dates from the 14th to the 20th, where different people are constructing different aspects of the lantern. And then the final event happens at 8 p.m. in Morningside Park on September 21st. And in terms of St. Nicholas Park, exciting news there too. We're having one of our courts repainted with artwork by Jeff Sunhouse. So this is the 130th Street and St. Nicholas Terrace courts. It's the only courts in St. Nicholas that don't have a creative design. So kind of finishes up the park for us. And on September 21st, we're celebrating the reopening of those courts and paired with a community affairs event from 9 to 12 p.m. That's again on September 21st. We invited Community Board 9 to table. So Heather and Annette, if you want to let me know who from your community board wants to represent, please let me know by the end of the week, and hopefully we'll see you all there. And last but not least, what happened?
Okay.
Sorry, Annette, I didn't hear you.
No, I said you slipped that one in there.
I love to have you all table. It's all when we have the Jackie Robinson event, it's really great to have the community board. So hope you can join. And then for St. Nicholas, we have Monday yoga. Monday's yoga is a regular reoccurring event by Harlem Wellness Center. It's Mondays at 6:30 until September 30th. So it's now nice and cool out. It's a good time to, join the yoga event on the James Baldwin lawn. And I also want to echo what Heather said. There was a treatment in Manhattan for mosquitoes on, I think it's tomorrow actually, Heather.
Oh,
thank God.
Is that that's for the Jackie Robinson Park?
The treatment, the mosquito treatment?
Isn't it specific to parks or Manhattan?
It says from what I can see, the Department of Health is scheduled for sections of Manhattan. I'm trying to look up right now where that section is.
Yeah, they did part last week, so it's continuing.
Yeah, so here it says Thursday, September 5th in the evening between 8:30 p.m. and 6 a.m. the following morning. I'm going to actually drop the link into the mosquito control health.
And if anyone else has joined us online, please place your announcements in the chat and your contact information in the chat. And Tapaji, did you have anything else or any other announcements?
That is all for me. Please let me know if you have any questions or anything else you need me to follow up with. I'm happy to do so.
Hey, Tapaji, this is Chris. Quick question for you. Do you have an update as to when the basketball court renovation project will start at Alexander Hamilton Park?
Alexander Hamilton Park. I do
Yeah.
not oversee Alexander Hamilton, but I can reach out to my colleagues to ask. So it's Alexander
It's on
Hamilton.
Capital, it's on
Parks.
Capital Tracker, and I
Yeah,
think it was
and
supposed to start.
Matt announced it in our June meeting.
Yeah.
So, and since he's not on tonight, we'll follow up in the next month with a update on that.
Oh, and I do have one more update, Heather.
Sure, go ahead.
So regarding the 112th Street bathrooms and concession stand at Morningside Park, the contractor schedule has been significantly delayed. So right now we're not able to open the restrooms. But we are working on alternative solutions as it's been a while. And then regarding the concession stand, they are not able to open this season, but they will be in March of 2025.
Let's do that.
Yeah, I see that.
Thank you for, yes, that was another, we needed an update on that. Thank you so much.
No problem.
And that's in the minutes too, so. Thank you, Tapaji. Now, we have a very important guest on.
Yes, so Laura
This-
and Martin, you guys are up for presentations. I beg one moment. We have an elected official on our
Yes.
line. City Councilman Dr. Youssef Salam is on. Would you like to speak, sir?
Or is it someone from your office? Youssef Salam?
Yes, sorry, it is me. I was just trying to figure out how to unmute myself and turn my camera on.
Welcome to our Parks Committee. Thank you for being here.
My pleasure, my pleasure. Sorry I joined late. I was actually running from one meeting to another meeting to another meeting. And yes, I got an opportunity to hear some of the great things that are happening in the district, in the park, and all of that good stuff. So I just wanted to say hi and say welcome from City Council.
Well, it's good to see you. Pop in anytime. We appreciate your presence.
Oh, thank you. My pleasure. My pleasure. So I'm doing double duty as well. My wife and I are trying to make sure the children get ready for school tomorrow as well. I'll just put myself back on mute and turn my camera off while we do the work. Okay.
Thanks so much for popping in. We appreciate you.
Okay.
My pleasure. Thank you all as well.
Now, who will be providing the presentation for Morningside Park?
Yeah, that's me. Hi. Let's see. Could you allow me to share screen?
Yes,
Yeah.
now let me see
Okay.
if I can. Okay, well, let me see if I can do it on here.
Okay.
Okay, you should be able to share your screen now.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Thanks for, it's nice to see everybody. I lived in Community Board 9 for 14 years up until a few months ago. So, and I've seen all the happy turtles in the pond too with the waterfalls. So I'm Laura Drawbaugh, and I'm the landscape architect for the reconstruction of the stairs at 114th, 116th Street and 122nd Streets in Morningside Park. I presented to you on June 5th, and many thanks to the Friends of Morningside Park for their thoughtful input after that presentation and their support. So this is a somewhat abbreviated presentation, but so the goals remain the same: make the stairs safer and ADA compliant and manage stormwater flooding. Morningside Park in Upper Manhattan, with a change of elevation of nearly 100 feet, began as an Olmsted design and has been designated a scenic landmark. There's heavy flooding on the eastern edge of the park. Land use, dense residential to the east, mainly institutional. To the west, serves a very large population, and it's a relatively large park. We have
Laura, can I just stop you for a second? And
Mhm.
just for the benefit of our new members, if you could
Okay.
utilize your cursor
Oh,
and point
sure.
out the areas that you're describing.
Yes.
Okay, that'd be great. So actually, you're looking here at um, the the Morningside has two phases, and this is the first phase, and we're working on these three sets of stairs labeled with yellow in A, B, and C. And we're going to address the unsafe stairs and their stormwater runoff. And we have also added, this is new, some structural work on the plaza at 116th Street. So these three sets of stairs, each has its own story and unique appearance. They were all three part of the original 1887 Olmsted box design. So starting in the south, that would be stair A. We've got these gentle Y-shaped stairs at 114th Street. They're very dilapidated. There's misaligned bluestone treads. There's asphalt landings in poor condition and no handrails. And on the sides are the irregular carved boulders, typical of Morningside Park. And you can see the existing poor condition of the treads and pavement. So our proposed reconstruction, which you saw before, really is the same. We're going to remove the existing treads and boulders, stockpile them, and then construct a new concrete foundation. Then we're going to reset the treads and the boulders, and we're going to provide sturdy landmarks gray concrete landings. And if the treads aren't in good enough condition for reuse, we'll replace them to match as closely as possible. And we're going to provide handrails on both sides. So moving to the center of the park at 116th Street, these also very different in character. Due to the constant flow of water from protruding pipe and from the slopes above, the treads have been displaced on these stairs. Um, and also the water is flowing not into the park's internal drainage system, but instead it runs on the surface down to the street. So and you can see here the amount of water that sometimes flows down these stairs, and you can see the non-ADA compliant handrail and these boulder cheek walls. So our reconstruction, this should be familiar. What remains the same is we are going to remove the existing treads and boulders from actually these stairs do have an existing concrete foundation. So we're basically remove the treads and boulders, stockpile them, and then reset them in the same position, and with some drainage materials to improve the stormwater runoff situation. And we'll also put in landmarks gray concrete landings. And if the treads again aren't in good enough condition to reuse, we will replace them. So we did make some changes suggested by the Friends. We've eliminated a trench drain that we were going to do, and we added a granite block swale on the uphill side of this path to direct the surface water from above into an existing catch basin. We're going to, we were going to not keep the little bird bath area, but it was pointed out to us by the Friends that it's a very fond amenity for park users. And let's see. So we are going to reconstruct it. And again, what's also new here on this slide is we're going to reset some of the materials on the upper plaza area. The grand steps and plaza at 116th Street are well traveled and used for public events. So security and lighting is a great concern here. And we're taking the right steps with DOT to make sure that it's safe and adding 5 new lights here. We are also adding handrails on the center and sides of these stairs. So moving north to the 122nd Street stairs, they're also just very different from the other sets of stairs. They're built later and they have granite block cheek walls and treads, which have both in poor condition. Again, the steps are misaligned and there's just a tiny little run of handrail. These photos show the poor condition of the treads and the cheek walls. So as in the 114th Street steps, we're going to remove the existing treads and boulders, stockpile, not boulders, remove the existing treads, stockpile them, and reconstruct a new concrete foundation. Then we'll reset the bluestone treads and again provide sturdy landmarks gray concrete landings. If the treads aren't in good enough condition, we will have to replace them and try and match them as best as we can. And we'll install handrails on both sides. The existing cheek wall are built of granite block and they have kind of a step down character. And they have no coping or protective top stone, which has allowed water to enter the joints, causing the cheek wall to really deteriorate. So we're going to reconstruct the wall with the same granite blocks, but this time we're going to follow the slope of the landscape instead of having those step downs. And we're also going to add a rustic granite coping on the top to protect the masonry joints. And we'll we'll reconstruct the swales in their existing locations with granite block. So this was the materials we showed in June. Let's see, but we have eliminated this trench drain, as I mentioned. Then we had these materials to deal with the stormwater runoff and shown in June. And again, we have eliminated this trench drain, and also we're going to reconstruct this bird bath area to maintain its really lovely character. And then along this would be an idea of what the granite block swale might look like that we're adding on the upper part of the path at 116th to collect stormwater runoff. Let's see. We're going to reconstruct the bird bath with a dome grate so it doesn't flood, and we'll really use mortared materials this time to really keep its really unique character. So in 1939, the upper plaza looked like this. However, now on the northern edge, it looks like this with its tilted pedestal and light. So after consultation with our structural engineer, we're going to address the leaning pedestal and light pole. And we're also going to reset some of the coping and fix the handrail. And we're going to remove the vegetation that's damaging the retaining wall coping at this location. So back to the big picture of this phase. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Wow, very good.
That was very good.
Very good.
Very good, very good.
We have a question from Vanessa. You had your hand up first.
Hi, are there cameras along this while you guys are doing all of this work? Are there any security cameras? Or if they're not, are they gonna be added?
Matt and Tapashi would probably know better. I believe there are a few cameras in the park, especially they could probably say where they are. We're actually not adding any cameras, but we are adding considerable lighting.
Yeah, lighting is fine, but cameras are better. Because I can see my attacker and give them a better description if they keep me, they don't kill me. But more cameras especially along those steps, for people that wanna take that 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning job,
Mm.
I don't know why. But, has that
Yeah.
flyer been?
We don't typically, it's usually not part of our scope to put in cameras. I believe we have to have the police department kind of tie into that. So, but that, that would be really great to have. So, I'm not exactly sure how you could put
Cameras
that
are not a
request
capital
forward.
improvement, so this is a capital improvement presentation. Okay.
But I should chime in. So there's an extensive number of cameras that run through the park.
Oh, good.
So between Columbia and NYPD, like if you go to 116th Street, it's just replete with cameras. So there's a bunch out there.
Good
Oh.
question. Thanks for that comment.
Yeah, sorry, this is Brad Taylor. If I could just comment. Yes, there are cameras around the perimeter and there are cameras along the lower level, but I really appreciate the comment about more cameras, especially at that plateau level. In fact, we have pointed out a very good place to put a camera that covers that much of that plateau level. So however it can be done, whether it's capital or something else, we'd really like to see it done there.
Thank you. Any other, Liz, go ahead, Liz, with your comment.
Hi, Laura.
Hi.
Hi, good to see you again. Great presentation. It's really great to see that you've incorporated all the feedback from the Friends organization and the community. I think I asked you this question last time and I don't remember the response, so I'm gonna ask it again. What is the guidance from Landmarks on adding handrails in a scenic landscape?
So we did our first submission to Landmarks recently, and they had a lot of questions, not so much questioning what we're doing, but just wanting a little more historic uh, uh, backdrop to some of our decisions that we made, which we have. So the handrails here are the same as the handrails being installed at 113th Street, which was approved by Landmarks, and also they're used extensively in Central Park. So that was actually the beginning stage of our handrails, was looking to the Central Park handrails, which of course were also approved by Landmarks. They're very transparent in character. So that's why they've been favored in these historic parks. Let's see here. Yeah.
And to have 3 handrails on each side and then down the middle, I assume that's because of the width of the stairs.
Yeah, that's correct. There's precedents at Jackie Robinson and the Central Park Arsenal, and also actually in Morningside, there's 3 pipe rail handrails at the east entrance at 112th Street. So we just really want to make our ADA accessibility really robust. So you're correct. It's the width of those particular stairs that generated the 3 rails.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, and your feedback from LPC has, have you submitted all of the materials that they required?
I'm working on it now. We have drawings for let's see, it's mostly they were curious about 122nd, what led to let's see. There's a sort of odd condition where the wall was built pre-1964, and then they like put more granite block on top of it and narrowed the steps. So LPC was sort of curious about that evolution. So they basically just wanted to make sure, and they want to make sure we're maintaining widths of our stairs and materials, which we are.
Okay. Any other comments? All right, I'm gonna close out. So are we at a point where we can, I think they're looking for a letter of support. We did receive one letter of support from the Friends of Morningside Park. And so we do have a quorum. I think, are we missing anybody? Everyone is here? Everyone is present. Yeah. Okay.
And here.
I think they did I like the way they complied with keeping the same materials that were being used as opposed to bringing in other materials and the reuse of what was in the park. So I like that very much. They really did follow through on what was requested. Is that right, Liz?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a very good adjustment. I mean, so.
So we need to make a motion to approve the letter of support or what?
Yes.
Maybe it's so.
Second.
Did you do a motion for unanimous support?
Yeah, I make a motion to provide a letter of support for this capital improvement project.
Okay, yeah, they complied.
They
They met with the community over the summer and, you know, they followed, they really listened and so, all right, so
Right,
when will you be presenting, when is your LPC hearing date?
I don't know if we have a hearing date. I think we just going to give at a staff level, give them the historical background to our decisions very soon. But we'll certainly let you know if we do have a public hearing.
Right, because you need a letter of support from the community board, and so we just want to make sure that there's ample time for us to submit the letter of support to executive committee, which, and then after that, it would have to go before the general board. So please be cognizant of that, because if you're not meeting with landmarks preservation this month, do you know, then that would determine when we would develop the letter.
I'll be answering all their questions with their historic background probably this week or next week.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
I had all the materials they wanted. I just hadn't shown them all, so I beefed it all up, and I think we've got what they asked for. So that'll go in very soon.
okay, so, Steve, when did, go ahead, Steve, if you have a comment.
No, I was just going to say that that in order to complete the package, we really do need your letter of support, and and if you could just get it to us, you know, as soon as your process allows, you know, that would, we would then pass, you'll send it, I guess, directly to Landmarks Preservation. You'll copy us on it, and that would, that would seal the deal. So I don't, I think we would need to. I think they're going to want to see that letter before they give us a final sign off.
So we can get that to them after the general board.
All right. Well,
the executive, and then it'll go to the hearing. Yeah, and then it'll go to the general board. It may not even have a hearing.
It may not require a hearing. Okay. All right. Thank you, Steve. So
we should have it then, I guess, by the end of the month.
Is there a subcommittee who can work on a letter of support for this particular project?
I'll draft it.
Okay. All right. Thank
Wait,
you.
if I draft it, can I send it into exec this month?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, but we need assistance to help April. Okay, so we'll put down. All right.
I'll just add that we'll be going to PDC too, so I believe they'll need a letter at some point.
Okay, so it's in the works.
Thank you.
And once general board meets, we should be able to get that out to you guys as soon as possible.
Right.
So you can complete your package. Is that okay, Steve?
Yeah. Yes. I mean, Laura points out that that basically we're going to need the same letter addressed to both the Landmarks Preservation Commission and to the Public Design Commission. And,
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and actually, PDC is probably more interested in seeing that letter than otherwise. So yeah, we haven't gone there yet, I guess. So as soon as you can get that, the same letter that would go to both agencies, both bodies.
Okay, that's noted. Thank you for providing that to us.
Okay. All right. So, Laura, if you could stop sharing, then our next presentation is 1160 Amsterdam Avenue. And is there, I just want to.
Mr. Griggs is here and I bet.
How do you want to do this?
We appreciate your patience.
You signed and let me.
Trying to do that. There might be a little bit of an echo. I can't seem to get the speaker.
Okay.
But you can tell me if it's too distracting.
Well,
You can email it maybe.
let's see, how are we going to, if you're going to be the one presenting, let's see. I don't know if it's up online or not.
While Heather is taking care of that, I just want to thank all of you guys for hanging in here with us at this late hour. We will be done soon enough. We thank you.
Is this it?
This is it. Would it be better for me to use that machine?
Yeah, if you want to come, this is my, let me. Let me see how it's coming up. This is the, okay, I guess it's just a, and with mine, you can use your fingers too.
Okay,
If
okay.
that's helpful to you.
That's fine.
And I'll just move out of the way. Let me, where's that? I'll move over.
Columbia University. Oh, that's Columbia.
Hey. Sorry for the technical delay.
Trying to figure out how we were gonna do this.
Yeah, I should
Yeah,
have brought it loaded on the machine.
Is that the library of it?
Yeah, so this is St. Paul's Chapel on Columbia University, the main campus of Columbia University. What we've been asked to do, working with Krista Benson, landscape architect. I'm Marty Griggs, Walter Melvin Architects. We're an architecture firm in the city specializing in historic restoration, all exterior historic restoration. Columbia came to us asking us to look at, we had restored the chapel a number of years ago, but was looking at the paths, ways around the chapel to improve those pathways. And one of the key components of that was getting a real accessible entrance into the chapel. Because we do have this ramp, kind of makeshift ramp in place right now, but try to get something that's more permanent and is gonna allow for kind of a entrance for accessibility. And because that touches the building and the building's an individual landmark, we're going to a hearing at LPC on the 24th. So what we started by doing is looking at the campus plan and kind of the original history of the campus. I'm sure you all know it's a McKinley White plan from the 1890s. Really kind of looking at it, there's kind of a couple big moves that McKim, who designed the campus plan, did. One of the big moves is kind of elevating everything to kind of 150 foot plateau. So a lot of grading was done on the site to create that plateau and then allow for kind of to the south that view drop off. And the original master plan is very symmetrical. With these kind of, there was a bunch of colleges that would be these bar buildings that you see kind of around courtyards, but symmetrical through here with kind of the domes and a hierarchy of domes across there. Our building obviously is this little courtyard to the east. And so, really, this is a kind of, we feel it's a very important part of the campus. It's a secondary entrance, but it's a primary secondary entrance to us. So we feel like that's quite important. Over time, right, that master plan has shifted, right? And there's a number of master plans that were done at Columbia. the IMPA master plan, not all the buildings got built the way they thought they were gonna get built, so we actually at Avery is the only area where the courtyard was actually created, and the bar buildings that were built around it actually were built and created the courtyard. Everywhere else is open to the perimeter, so that never really kind of happened, but we feel like as inside of Columbia, that's kind of a special little area that maintains that kind of historic configuration. What the things that are important to us is kind of trying to, maintain that and improve that secondary entrance. There are some gates near the area where we're working, which are actually from the original campus downtown, or a church near the original campus downtown, or moved uptown, which we thought was interesting. Oh yeah, okay, so yeah, these gates you can see from a painting. These gates are from an early church where graduation used to happen in Columbia, down near City Hall, when the campus was downtown. Those are actually, have been moved up to the building, kind of these two areas that we call it the Dutch gates. And so really the project goals was to create an ADA accessible entrance that's more in keeping with the original idea of the master plan and the building itself, to mimic or use some of the same materials that were used. But one of the other things that was important to us is trying to get for people that use these accessible entrances to have a similar experience in entry, so that they don't have to like go to the side around the corner. That if you're going with, for graduation, they have a lot of graduations here and weddings, that you can go up with your family and kind of have the same entrance. So that was important to us, and something that Columbia felt was a good idea and wanted us to look into. And then there's some issues with the grading right now on the paving. We've got some play areas. I mean, it's pervious paving, but we've got some areas where we're getting some freeze thaw heaving and things like that from lack of kind of a good drainage on the site. And so this is some of the condition, that we have that are issues. This area in here, sorry, is in the portico, which has a decorative mosaic of stonework. Unfortunately, it's in terrible condition. And I'll talk a little bit about why that is and how we're addressing that. This is a survey of that condition of that portico area, designating kind of what we've seen. Really, we're in conversation with Landmarks about trying to salvage some of this material, though it's questionable if we can salvage any of it. It's just so shattered. And really what we found was that this is over a Valsovino vault that vaults in that portico area, which you can kind of see here. Has an old coal tar membrane down, needed a probe down into it, which is a great material, not used anymore for various reasons, but in terms of waterproofing, it's a great material. But what we think is happening is that it's trapping water under the paving. We're getting freeze thaw, it's heating the conditions, and it's one of the areas that we want to address to make this accessible and also restore that area. So that's some more kind of images of what that portico paving looks like. And that same freeze thaw heaving is actually cracking our giant marble stairs that we have going into the portico. And then just this plaza and some of the issues with plaza brickwork and some of that unevenness, which makes it difficult to get a wheelchair across, that we want to address as part of our job. And so with that, this is kind of what we're looking at right on the left-hand side of your screen. Is going to be the existing condition. On the right is what we're looking to do, and kind of the approach was to minimize the ramp length as much as possible. Also create stairs that, due to the number of risers, that we don't require handrails, but still provide a handrail, so that we have a handrail on one side if someone wants to use it, but it's not required, and open up the front of the building and keep that as open as we can and original to the original kind of entry point, which is really down this alleyway, or this plaza. And so that's the way that we were doing that was raising the grade of the herringbone, so regrading that front area, bringing the grade up. We lose the steps in some of the pedestal. There's a trade-off there a little bit. But we think it's a good trade-off in terms of an experience of everyone and allowing everyone to have a similar experience. And not muddying the front of the building with a lot of additional handrails. And so this is some renderings of what that looks like. On the top is what's existing, on the bottom, what's proposed. Again, from the north, what's existing and what's proposed. And then looking down that plaza, what's existing and what's proposed. This is just showing that regrading and how we're dealing with the grading and the stairs that we are going to lose because of it. We're really carefully detailing this interface between the piers at each end of the stair. And this is just a photo, a rendering of what that would look like, what it looks like now on your left, and what we're proposing it to look like when it's done. And then this is just, you know, for landmarks, some of the kind of construction drawings that we're working through. Kind of figuring out how we're gonna get the water off of that Guasupino vault. So making sure that we have a drainage layer underneath it that's gonna allow it to drain into an area where we can actually have it drain and not have the same freeze thaw issues that we had before. So kind of working through some of those. Just some very minimal, simple handrail, you know, trying to engineer it down as thin as we can get and as minimal as we can get and still comply with the ADA. And some of these are some of the stuff, the materials that we were looking at. You know, in our research of this red stone, it seems like it actually changes color slightly over time, so it fades. And so we're looking at going back to what the original stone was. It's probably going to be a little bit different in terms of color. Again, I'm not sure how much this stone is actually going to be able to be retained. And then you know, it's the limestone and the granite it's pretty clearly a stony group granite, which isn't cool too. And then the landmark stone. Yeah, stone what? Oh, the limestone? Oh, the granite is pretty clearly a stony Creek granite. Sorry.
Stony Creek.
Stony Creek.
Oh,
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm going a little fast. I'm not sure how much people want me to go faster.
You're doing good.
It's very clear and clearly marked, and the drawings are very clearly marked.
And then this is, you know, we had done a number of schemes, landmarks, we've been in conversation with landmarks for a long time. I don't know if you guys, they wanted to see all our schemes at the presentation, so we put them in here, kind of all the studies that were done to see what would different options, alternatives were. And so those are what those are, but that's basically the presentation and what we're looking at.
Could you go back about 3 more slides and with that?
There you go.
That's what I wanted to see.
Are there any questions?
What was that material that you said was sort of underground and you thought was collecting the water?
So it's coal tar. It's a roofing product that was used pretty commonly up until probably the 70s. The issue with it, as I understand it, is that it off gases quite a bit, which isn't that bad necessarily unless you work with it every day. So the workers were getting skin cancer from it. And so it's actually been, I think as of 2 years ago, you can't even buy it in New York State anymore. I think they outlawed it completely, which has been an issue for us sometimes in catching it, right? Because it really isn't compatible with anything else. So it makes it difficult to deal with damage to it, but it tends to at low temperatures, it becomes viscous again. So it kind of self-sealing. So a lot of
It's a much cleaner design. I mean, in comparison to what it was. Very nice.
Is that a ramp on?
Yeah, so that's the ramp on the left. So this here is the existing ramp and we're getting rid of that existing ramp and allowing people to go, it's not completely straight in, but more straight in. And if people are with them, to use kind of the area next to them is the idea.
Yes.
And what was your plan?
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, Patricia still has questions. I'll let her
I'm
know.
sorry, Liz, I mean, you know,
I mean, it's a
what was your
complex
plan,
project.
what is your plan for the drainage? What are you gonna do about that drainage that you're saying?
So we're gonna drain into the planting areas. Is the idea to drain the planting area, so we're gonna get more of a pitch by raising it. We're gonna be able to pitch it to those drainage areas, and we're gonna, we wanna try, there are a bunch of drains on the site, and we're gonna reuse those drains for various areas of paving. Where it's possible, we'd like to try to not put more water into the runoff, and get it into planting areas.
How much of the area is being repaved?
So a pretty significant part of the paving will be redone to get the slope correct, right? Because we need to get basically that grade, that seems weird. Okay, we need to get that slope in here to get ADA accessible. So we're gonna basically regrade that, repave that, yeah.
Liz.
It looks like we got.
Oh, did something happen?
Yeah, I just.
Go ahead, Liz, talk about the bridge.
It seems like it's.
So, it's a unique solution for the issues that you have, at the project. Could you tell me, like, what are the goals of this project, and do they have like a hierarchy? Like, what was the big problem? Was it the ramp, or it's the water infiltration?
The big problem is the AD accessible access. I mean, that's the priority, is to deal with the accessible access and to try to kind of have a more consistent experience for everyone.
And that's coming from, that Columbia wants to do, wants that, yeah. I mean, it's unique. I will say that I looked at the drawings a couple of times and was like, oh, that you're raising that platform. One of my questions was also Patricia's about matching the landscaping to the raised platform so it doesn't create a trip hazard.
I'm sorry, I don't understand.
In some of the renderings, the paved areas looked raised. And the landscaped areas that are recessed.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna
I assume
regrade,
it
yeah,
will.
that's more of a model issue than anything else, yeah.
Good to know about the pavers being saved. The only thing that I would say about the mosaics, there's 3 mosaics, right?
Right.
So I'm a preservationist and I like to see the age. So I would, what I would love to see is if you could recreate one of the mosaics with original material, if you could save enough.
Yeah.
So that you can see, at least one of them you could see.
Yeah, I mean, I think that this is one of the big kind of challenges that we've kind of gone in our office that we're talking about is, do we use the original stone and supposedly let it fade, the red stone more than anything? Or do we try to find a match to the existing stone that's a different stone? And then do we try to salvage whatever we can? I mean, the issue that I'm really concerned about, we were able, when we did the probe, there's like a marble mosaic, which looks like tile. Like that seems to come out pretty well, and we can actually maybe get that out in sections. The stone is so shattered that when they start to dig it up, it's just crumbles. And so I'm not very confident we're gonna salvage much stone. Landmarks wants us to do that, and we probably will go that route of trying to salvage as much as we can. But I guess the hard thing for us is kind of deciding, do we try to match something that we may not get a great match for, and it's not gonna be the same stone.
Right.
And then end up not actually salvaging any of the stone. So we're still kind of working through that issue.
I would just say I agree with Landmarks, like,
Yeah.
if you can give people, the understanding when they look, like, this isn't, this is brand new, this, and this part is however many,
Right.
years old it is, yeah, that's ideal.
Okay. And that's usually our approach, is to reuse as much material as we can, but
And the mosaic is alternating between marble and,
It's, it's marble and various different stones, yeah. And the marble is what looks like tile, like a
terracotta.
like a mosaic tile. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Whatever.
sure.
Sorry, I'm just gonna follow up on that. What was the substrate under the mosaic stone area?
So that the substrate is, it's a cementitious, it's like a concrete base. Under that is a Bostovino vaults, which is a thin vault system, a Catalonia thin vault system. It's like what you see in oyster bar. But
about how much is that?
so it varies, right? Because it's a vault underneath. The vault, Bostovino, probably about that thick. The space underneath it, I think it varies from 6 to 10 inches, I think, about somewhere in that neighborhood.
And yeah, that was another question. What is the height you're taking up 2 stairs to raise the platform? So you know what the,
I don't know off the top of my head, but it's gotta be about 12 to 14 inches, probably.
Yeah.
The risers aren't aren't that much. I'd have to look back.
There's no questions in the chat, right? No one that's joined virtually have any questions?
Because I got disconnected on my computer, and that's what happened. I think a lot of us did. We got disconnected. Let's see if any other questions came through.
I don't think.
Okay, you said
So they didn't come.
dropped off.
yeah,
I'm not seeing any questions in the chat.
Did you ever get disconnected?
No.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to save your chat because I got disconnected from mine. Yeah, no, that's okay, but, all right,
Okay.
so, does anyone have any other questions? We're getting to the end of our meeting now. All right, and so you're here, do you have a date set for the landmark?
September 24th.
Oh, I missed that.
Tuesday.
Okay, 9/24, okay, so then you need a letter of support from us too, as well.
We would love that, yeah.
Okay. All right,
But-
so you have a question, another
Yeah,
comment?
that's why I'm a little, what do you think, Liz? Because it's like, are you gonna use the stone or are you just gonna preserve the stone? Are you gonna replace you're saying the accessible bricks that like a wheelchair might not get across, and what exactly is the material that you plan on using it? You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Are we specifically, do we understand?
I think so. They won't really know how much of the stone that they can save until they try to get it out. Right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm usually, probably, I tend to be overly optimistic usually when I'm doing salvage, and contractors don't like me for that. But I'm not terribly optimistic in this
Yeah.
situation.
And that is on the
portico, yeah.
area, so not the landscaped area, those are just brick
Bricks, yeah,
pavers,
brick
yeah, brick
pavers.
pavers, and you're gonna
Okay.
save most of the bricks.
We will save most bricks.
Okay, that was the concern. I would hate to see that.
Yeah, no,
And there is a standard, Columbia, we're well aware of, through the years, Columbia has had some issues with paver replacement that have been not great. They actually, at this point, have a standard brick that they use as a replacement for their existing, which I think is a custom thing that made. So that's kind of, there's gonna be some that will need to be replaced.
I haven't been on the campus in months, they won't let outsiders over there.
Yeah, I can't get on either without a QR code anymore.
Yeah, so, I haven't been over in months.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm good, I'm good.
Alright. Yeah, I already wait, so, we need to make a motion on the reso, is that what you said?
Yeah, we need a reservoir.
No, we're not finished, but the letter of support is unanimous support. Are there any concerns here?
I'm not.
This is reality.
This is.
Yeah, they provided a very complete package.
Anyone wants to write this letter of support?
I can't right now. I have too much.
All
All
right,
right, well,
we're
we'll
gonna-
figure that out. In the
But not-
meantime, is there unanimous support for this project? Yes. Anyone want to second it? Thank you. Martin, we'll get your letter.
All right,
of support.
thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
Issues and the
But I can't get this, let's see, I need to go get a key. And so we're gonna have to.
Not you, you want me to go, I'll go.
Yeah.
Okay, patience, okay.
Sorry, thank you.
All right, so, where are we?
Need to set the.
I'm not able to.
Reviewing current LPP permits issued in CB9.
Okay.
We're on old business.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
I don't think I'm gonna be able to pull it up and share. Not allowing me to share.
Are you the host, Heather?
Yeah, I'm the co-host.
Cause you could always just cancel out and come back in, no?
Yeah, I may have to, yeah, because on the screen here, I just want him to, I'm not able to. Really do that.
It's okay, I'll come in and see the agenda.
Okay, but you all received the permit information in the email?
Yeah.
Did anyone have any comments on what was received?
I mean, there's one comment, the Claremont Theater is in there, as a denied permit from Landmarks. And what's been going on at Claremont for years is, outside of what is appropriate for a landmark.
Everything shut down on my end. So now I'm not.
Huh?
Go ahead, I'm listening.
Well, no, I was gonna wait for Heather, because she's distracted.
Yeah, no, go ahead. I'm just. Put the gallery thing here, on this column. No, go ahead, Liz.
So the Claremont Theater is on the list for a denied permit from Landmark, so the Claremont Theater is, just like kitty corner up here, 135 and Broadway on the southeast corner. It's one of the few historic theaters that still exists in our neighborhood. It's totally gutted on the inside. Has been a medical facility for children. Yeah, for years. It is an individual landmark. It's one of just a few individual landmarks in our neighborhood. And the owners are Tuck It Away. They've owned it for many, many years. I'm surprised it's not owned by Columbia yet. But they put in a request to Landmarks in February for alterations to the building, to the front window area. Apparently Landmarks asked them for more information and they never provided that information, so they denied them the permit. I would just say that Tuck It Away clearly has been altering that building outside of the requirements of Landmarks for could be decades, because I know that building quite well. And so I think we need to keep our eye on it, of what's going on there.
I'm sorry, say that last part.
We need to keep our eye on
I just
it.
think we need to keep our eye on the Claremont Theater. Like, I looked up as much as I could online. I did find there's an additional description, which I can send to the committee if you want to see, of what Landmark said to Tuck It Away about why they were denying their permit. There are no other DOB permits that have been pulled.
So we're required to call and see, get an explanation. of
No,
what the-
no, I mean, Landmarks just denied their permit. I think we could, I don't know if it's this committee or if it's housing land use and zoning, but to ask them to come in and present what their goals are for the building.
That's who it would be, housing and use.
I think so. I don't
Yeah.
know if it's this.
Ours would be the preservation of a landmark, but you said it was already gutted, it was already. it
But
used
the
to be a-
exterior is still a landmark, so I'm just telling you,
I'm asking.
because I get super excited when I hear like old theater and I wanna know if it's
Right,
still there,
right,
but it's
right.
definitely, that part is not there. But I'm curious about what their goals are for the building. I think that they've made it actually better in the last year or so. They've taken down more of the graffiti and I think there were stickers on the windows and all of those decals are supposed to be approved by landmarks.
It changes
So
monthly.
Broadway.
It's like
Oh, it
it's like a
does.
rotating gallery, so they do different displays. I live across the street, so it's.
On the inside, right? Not on the
They
windows?
use the windows as a sort of rotating display.
Yeah.
So what do we need to do anything, or just keep an eye
As
on it?
long as they're not doing like, they let out
Well,
land graffiti on the
I mean,
outside.
this committee could write a letter to landmarks that we are upset by the inappropriate alterations to the exterior of the landmark buildings. We could do that. I mean, you live across the street, does it bother you?
I mean, I didn't even know that it was a landmark building, so it's not treated that way, like I don't get the sense. So the fact that that's the vibe that you get as a community member walking by, I'm just wondering if we could reframe the letter instead of a warning, more of like calling them higher, like, you know what you have?
Yeah,
And you're
yeah.
called to
Yeah.
preserve what's left.
And CC Barry on it, and zoning, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I think we could write a letter to landmark saying that we saw their denied permit.
Yeah.
And that the view from the community is that the owners of the building continue to not treat the building as if it were.
As a landmark, yeah, right. But that, yeah, landmarks and zoning.
What do you think of that? Sounds good to me.
That sounds.
As
that
someone
sounds-
who walks by all the time, I'm
Yeah.
gonna work on that.
Right.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I would work on that too, although like right now I'm just like drowning in my own work, but.
Yeah.
Could I
No,
just
I got
reach
it.
out to you about the
Yeah.
process?
Yep, yep.
Or can I send you the draft? The
Sure,
draft?
Sure, yeah.
Draft of the process.
No, just a letter to landmarks.
I've never written one to landmarks, so I'm asking for some mentorship on the process as a
Yeah.
new committee member.
Oh, okay. I'd like to be CC'd, Bishop Vogel, I'd like to be CC'd, on that, so that I can get an idea. So in other words, I'm not saying I know how to write one, or I really focused on that a lot, but once I get it, I'm very good at mimicking. So if you just let me read as you go along and how you improve, then I'm really very, very good.
Okay,
Okay,
good.
but right now I'm not prepared because.
Yes,
my
yeah,
brain's
I mean, I
kinda
can just, put the appropriate preservation terminology in there, but I'm sure whatever the two
That's
of you
what I,
write.
you
it'll
throw the
be-
jargon list and I
Yeah,
got you.
I'm good at, I'm
Okay.
good at the jargon.
Yeah.
So
you throw the
I
jargon and
I think the suggestion would be that, the three of us are gonna, write a draft letter to landmarks about the Claremont Theater that we can review for the next meeting.
Nice. Sounds like a plan.
Sound like. a plan.
In October, I have a lot of
Right,
work
right.
reading room.
It went, okay, I'm just. You know.
All right, we have a hand raised from Ewan. Go ahead, Ewan. Go ahead, Ewan.
You're on mute, Ewan.
Ewan, you're muted.
Wait, okay, there we are. Hi, everyone. Welcome back. A quick question. Liz, could you clarify ownership on that? I thought you said tuck it away, but I've always thought Tuck It Away sold that building to Columbia.
The
And
letter- Yeah, the letter from landmarks about the denied application is to tuck it away. I was surprised it was still owned by Tuck It Away myself.
yeah,
I went.
yeah, okay. I thought it was owned by Columbia, but okay. And the second thing is I haven't gone by the that site in like 4 or 5 months, but the building itself I do recall is pretty much intact, except the windows are used as part of the gallery exhibition or whatever exhibition is going on inside. They use the window. The exhibition is extended onto the window. But that's the only thing that I've noticed. So are you saying there have been alterations in the structure itself?
I'm not sure about alterations, but the exterior facade, the terracotta, is completely unmaintained.
It is definitely
Terrible.
not maintained. Okay.
So
All
I
right.
think the letter that we would write would reference the glass windows being if there are things that are being tacked on like decals inappropriately and the lack of maintenance for the exterior facade and the terracotta.
Okay.
I think those are the things that we could point out. I don't think there have been any other alterations.
Okay, all right. I just wondered how much weight, the letter would carry in terms of the glass, because, those decals change from time to time depending on the exhibition.
Yep. Right, but
And I don't know that, that is, a violation of any kind of landmark protection, to put something
But
on.
tucking away should
Yeah.
treat that building better. They have never been kind to that building.
Yeah. Okay, I do agree on that point. Okay, thank you.
Okay, and we have Claudette Brady on. Claudette, do you want to go ahead and make your announcement? Thank you so much for being here. You're on mute, Claudette. You're on mute.
Yeah. No, we can't hear you.
You're muted.
Yeah.
Hi,
Okay,
everyone.
Go ahead.
I'm Claudette Brady. I'm the Executive Director for Save Harlem Now. We are going to be doing a forum for homeowners on the 21st of September through funding that we got from State Senator Cordell Clare. And we are doing the seminar for the property owners in the Hamilton Heights Sugar Hill Historic District, the Manhattan Avenue North Historic District, which is a state and national registry district, and the new West Harlem Historic District, which was created by the hard work of Ewan. Our seminar or forum will include presentations from the State Office of Historic Preservation regarding tax credits, New York City Landmarks Preservation Commission. They'll be talking about their grants and their permit process, Landmarks Conservancy, their loan program, and their technical help assistance that they give in submitting for Landmarks Preservation Commission, and also submitting to the State Office of Historic Preservation for tax credits. We've also added some additional programming, New York City Accelerator, which helps homeowners with low interest loans or other financing towards New York City's goal of carbon neutrality. We have Home Fix, which provides no interest or low interest or forgivable loans to homeowners. They have special programs for seniors and low income homeowners. The cutoff for the rates is 165% of area median income. So that actually means a broad range of homeowners in Harlem just on those numbers would qualify for that. And we have one more. I just lost it. But there's a flyer that I sent to Heather. Heather attended the workshop that we did in April last year for the districts within Community Board 10. And that's it.
Steve Simon, do you have a question?
Well, it's not really a question. I have an answer to I have an answer to a question that was raised earlier in the meeting by, I see Annette has already answered me. So Chris Johnson asked earlier about the status of the Alexander Hamilton Playground basketball court project. And I want him and everyone else attending the meeting tonight to know that that project is due to begin on or about September the 30th. It will begin shortly, and it will run for most likely 1 year.
So, thank you, Steve.
And I should explain it's really much more than just a basketball court project because the wall on that side street, I think it's I think it's 141st Street. The side wall is falling apart, and we're actually spending more money to rebuild that wall, the retaining wall along the street, than we are on the basketball court itself.
I had a question for Claudette.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna sign off again. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Steve. Thank you.
Sorry, I'm just like doing like 3 things at once. Hi Claudette, Liz, from Community Board 9. Good to see you.
Hi.
Great to hear about the workshop for homeowners. How have you gotten the word out to residents in that area?
So
And
go ahead.
no, just in can we help?
So what we have is that we've gotten a list of all the property owners through Property Shark, and we are sending postcards.
Okay, good.
So we're doing a mailing of postcards. It's probably about oh gosh, it's about 1,500 postcards. In additional, we're going to be doing some limiting flyering because it's too large an area to flyer. So we're going to be doing flyering at churches because we feel that, especially for older residents, that's a good place to find them. And you know, the last program that we did, we found that some of our older residents came from flyering, not from signing up via the internet.
Vanessa has a question. I just glad, so when you say homeowners, are you talking about private mom and pop land, you know, 1 family, 2 family, or are you talking about 1 family, 2 family and landlords of mixed use property?
I should say property owners. Let me clarify and say property owners. Yeah, so it is for property owners in general. What SHPO, State Office of Historic Preservation, their presentation will include some information for churches and for large property owners. Part of our programming is that early in the morning, we will have presentations by the different agencies, and then in the afternoon, there'll be a chance for people to speak one-on-one with people from the agencies. And we will also follow up with with more information, especially for the tax credits, which tend to be different for small properties under 1 to 4 families as opposed to commercial properties, and they're 2 different kind of credits that they get. Commercial properties, there's a federal tax credit, which they can use in conjunction with the state tax credit. So everybody's welcome to come, including churches and large property owners. New York Accelerator also has a program for small property owners and for properties over 25,000 square feet, and that's New York Accelerator. Is a program, and for churches also to reduce the carbon footprint. In New York City, it's a local law 997L, I think. It's a long day, so my brain is shutting down.
I hear you
Okay,
there.
Ewan, you have your hand raised. Go ahead with your question. Ewan?
I think she just left it out.
Yeah, I think.
I'm sorry. That's from previous question.
That's a legacy hand?
Yeah.
Okay, so then I think we've covered the agenda, unless there are any other announcements. Is there a motion to adjourn the meeting at 8:39 PM?
I make a motion, we
Oh,
adjourn.
okay. I just had one last quick thing. We also have an architect that we will be funding to help homeowners, if they're doing the tax credits, complete that form themselves. He is a friend of mine. He went to Cooper Union, has taught at Pratt. And according to the State Office of Historic Preservation, he's submitted the most beautiful application they've ever seen. So we have brought him on board to help homeowners do that. So, because the applications can be somewhat complex.
Very good. Thank you, I make the motion, I hope I'm not cutting you off.
I'm done. That was what I forgot.
I'm so sorry, I make a motion, we adjourn this meeting.
There you go.
And second. Good night.
All right, at 8:39 PM. All right.
Thank you all.
Thank you, everybody. This has been a
Thank
great
you.
meeting. Thanks, Dwayne. Good night.
Thanks for everybody for being here.
Yeah.
And not having to scramble for quorum. Are you Joshua?
Hello, everyone, I'm Joshua.
Hi, Joshua.
Apologize for my absence earlier.
Sasha, you're new.
Good guy.
I want my offer to be entered.
Right.